Hello, my name is Melissa. Today I'm going to talk about how the brain reads. Reading is a visual process that takes place first in the occipital lobe. The eyes will scan the letters, where then the occipital lobe will process it. It is then decoded to the left side of the brain in the angular gyrus. This is where the basic sounds are separated. As Salsa says, this process activates the language areas of the brain located in the left hemisphere near and in the temporal lobe, where auditory processing also occurs. The auditory processing system sounds out the phonemes in the head. But there are 44 different sounds that can be made from the 26 letters that we have learned to memorize in order since the time that we were toddlers. So some letters have more than one sound. This task that's easy for females. But for males, on the other hand, they're not so sure why it's been made so complicated. Skills involved in reading are phonological and phonemic awareness. Phonological awareness is the recognition of the oral language broken into smaller pieces. In order for a child to understand the printed text, they must have an understanding of the words being made up of individual sounds. This is where phonemic awareness comes into play. Another important characteristic of reading is vocabulary. Children have this mental dictionary in their minds that when they're reading, they can skim through it and sometimes are able to recognize the print that's in front of them. Text comprehension is another important key factor when it comes to reading. Words can have multiple meanings, and the brain has to select which meaning best fits the text that they are currently reading. But reading is not just about decoding. They need to understand that reading has a meaning behind it. The reading program that I'm going to discuss is called the Journeys Common Core Program by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Publishing Company. The series my district currently has is from 2014, and each child has their own textbook with different reading passages. Along with the textbook, they also have a reader's notebook that has all of their consumables. Comprehension questions, different comprehension strategies, language, parts of speech worksheets, as well as their spelling homework for that story. Each story is broken up into a 5-day plan and it starts with the introduction of vocabulary. There are 10 words in the story that the child may not know, so their book gives examples of that vocabulary word and it uses it in context that it will be in the story. Throughout the week, all of our reading, language, and spelling plans are all incorporated into this one story being taught. So the spelling words have to be introduced before you even read the passage with them, because those words will be in the story, and so if you've introduced them already to them, they feel somewhat familiar with them. The teacher is doing a multitude of things throughout the week. They read the story numerous amounts of times. They want to express fluency, show expression, so that when the students go to read on their own, with a group, or with the whole class, they will express emotion in their reading. As a class, we talk about the genre of the reading selection. Usually, each story has a form of figurative language hidden inside the passage. It's fun for them to go and find it. There will always be a target skill, such as text and graphic features, maybe chronological order, or something like compare and contrast. I've used this program for about 4 years now, and I absolutely love it. After researching from the last so many weeks of class, I see how the brain is starting to work, and I'm understanding the importance of not allowing the children just to guess what maybe a vocabulary word is, but that it's important for the teacher to dive into the educational and instructional part of the teaching and not waste any of the prime time one.